Oh, well, hello, everybody. Uh, Happy Thursday to everybody. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week. Oh, fantastic. It is cold air in Colorado, but not too terrible. But it's a little chilly, around 40 degrees. I thought I had a really good topic to do a quick live show today, and I hope you all enjoy this. First off, I did get my PSL back, and that's fantastic. Other than that, everything seems to be going pretty gosh darn good around my world. I hope you all are doing the same. So, I don't know if you all have heard the fantastic news today. There's a new piece of legislation introduced in the United States Senate to tackle evil guns. You betcha. And what these evil guns have been up to. It's nothing good. So, what is it? Senator Angus King, I'm guessing. Let's just read a little bit of this, shall we? King introduces legislation to save lives, protect Second Amendment rights for law-abiding Americans. Now, anybody that actually has to tell you that they're trying to protect your rights, that's kind of a red flag all on its own, because rights really shouldn't need protecting from the federal government. The federal government really only has one play when it comes to rights, and that's taking them away. So whenever they're talking about protecting something that is enshrined, it's a red flag right off the back. Hey, Joe, I'm here for you whenever you're done. So, let's continue on. Saving lives now and in the future has been my single goal, Senator King says. Washington, D.C. In the wake of mass shootings across the country, including at home in Lewiston, U.S. That's it's a weird way to say that. Senator Angus King, Independent Maine, will be introducing legislation today with his colleague, Senator Martin Heinrich, Democrat, New Mexico, to curb mass killings without hindering Americans who own a firearm for self-defense or the marksmen who head to the shooting range or the woods during hunting season. The Gas-Operated Semi-Automatic Firearm Exclusion Act. Now, right there in the title, exclusion. That is not protecting. That is segregating and excluding. So, I do believe that will fail on multiple grounds, especially the grounds of common use, I do believe. But I digress. I am no lawyer. The bill, also co-sponsored by Senators Mark Kelly, D, Arizona, and Michael Bennett, my own Colorado D-bag. For years, I have said that rather than using the appearance of these guns to restrict them, we should instead focus on how these weapons actually work and the features that make them especially dangerous. Senator King, I think we all know who wants to be king here. The Gas-Operated Semi-Automatic Firearm Exclusion Act addresses the lethal capacity weapons like the one used in Lewiston and most of the deadliest mass shootings across the country. Nothing can bring back the lives of our family and friends but responsible actions moving forward can reduce the likelihood of such a nightmare happening again in Maine or anywhere else. Our country is reeling from a gun violence crisis that has taken far too many lives in New Mexico and across the country. The American people deserve meaningful action from Congress. That's why I'm introducing the GOSAFE Act, said Senator Heinrich. Yeah, Heinrich. Let's all take a guess at his gun grabbing ideals. Like many New Mexicans, I am a gun owner. I firmly believe we must uphold the laws that protect safe and responsible gun ownership. The bill achieves that while taking steps to get those firearms that are inherently dangerous and unusually lethal, designed for maximum harm, out of the hands of those who pose a threat to themselves or others, by giving law enforcement the tools and time needed to keep our communities safe. This pragmatic legislation will save lives. Yeah, it won't save the lives of the people who use these as self defense. Let's just remember that. As a gun owner, a combat veteran, and the husband of a survivor of need a lot of qualifiers with this one just so he can ride someone's coattails. I know firsthand the damage a firearm can do on the battlefield or in the neighborhood grocery store, said Kelly. And our community and communities have experienced mass shootings after mass shootings. It's past time we look at a fresh approach to protect Arizona kids and families from the most dangerous weapons. The GOSAFE Act is a targeted bill that protects the rights of responsible gun owners. Again, rights have only one direction, and that's restricting. The right is well laid out, not perfectly, but very well laid out. The only direction they can go is restriction. While regulating the most dangerous semi automatic rifles, detachable high capacity magazines, and accessories that have increasingly concerned law enforcement. I'm not one that gets real emotional about what upsets law enforcement. I think we've all seen the videos of law enforcement getting really upset that people want to, have rights. And been used over and over again in mass shootings. So basically, what we've got here is there is a new piece of legislation on the battlefield of America. And what this legislation is a blanket prohibition ban from manufacturing firearms that are gas system operated, that have detachable magazines. It is blatantly a terrible piece of legislation, but like I said, the Supreme Court has already settled this matter quite succinctly. So I don't know why they're chopping down forests to make paper just to go in the trash can yet again. So basically anything other than a shotgun or 22 long rifle that is gas operated, semi automatic, is illegal to manufacture, transfer, any kind of nonsense like this, and it is just a giant steaming pile of garbage that has no chance of standing on its own two legs. I am absolutely, utterly amazed that people think that this type of legislation actually would have a chance at success or would even appeal to people. Like this bill is utter garbage. It is devastatingly terrible in its writing, and it's entirely emotion. But the tyrants are going to want a tyrant, and that's what they're here for. They want to be your king, just like Angus King. Are you ready to be ruled over by a king? Are you ready to have your rights protected but somewhat restricted because your rights are too wildly open right now, and you actually have the right, and we need to restrict that because something might go wrong? This is all garbage. Like, the entire thing is garbage. I am amazed, just amazed that they think this might be some type of good use of legislative time, energy. Like, our legislators have way too much freaking time on their hands. We need to solve that problem. We need to solve that problem quickly because they're coming after us. They're coming after our rights. And my only question is why? We all know rifles account for all rifles, account for something like 3% of all homicides. Rifles aren't the problem. Everybody knows it. Every statistical outlet, everything out there says that, hammers are used more often than all rifles. Not the scary black ones, not the gas operated, high capacity, whatever the fucks. All rifles account for nearly nothing. So what is this going to save? That's what I'd like to know. What exactly is this going to save? Joe, that won't fly over. No, I don't think it will. I don't think it has a chance at all in legislation. Which, again, first off, they're not protecting your Second Amendment rights. They are radically curtailing them. You're taking the most popular firearm, indeed, a good number of the most popular firearms, and you are curtailing them. You are saying that your rights do not include this. Sorry. That's been adjudicated, and you don't get a say in it. My rights are not up for a vote. I don't care how many of them. I don't care how many votes you think you get in whatever legislative body you're in. My rights are not up for a vote. So we've got a lot of freaking work to do. We really do. I'm getting really sick and tired of the defense game. Because that's what this is coming down to. Little word of the wise that I heard not too long ago. Basically, societies that live on the defense get defeated. Period. Nobody who has lived on the defense survives because the offense keeps fighting and fighting and fighting until they break through. So what are we going to do? Who are the people fighting to stop this nonsense? Now, I get it. The courts are being okay at the moment. But the courts can't be the be all and end all, and that's still just defense. It's like the terrible argument about last summer's Bruin ruling. They're wildly expanding gun rights. No, they may be restoring gun rights or protecting gun rights or enshrining gun rights. You cannot expand a right. The right is there. The legislator thinks they can chip away at that right as they see fit, and they get shot down. That is not an expansion of gun rights. I got to tell you, I am just utterly amazed at really kind of the hubris of these people that think they can just walk in and declare your rights are on the table. Your rights can be voted away. Your rights can be taken away. And let's be honest, they can be. We're on the defense. The best we've got is a fairly decent court system right now. If that court system wasn't there, our rights are going to be voted away. Who out there is not on the defense? Who out there is pushing against the stupidity? I don't see any bills coming up to radically reshape the gun control acts. I don't see any bills coming up to nullify the gun control acts. I don't see any bills coming up to enshrine our rights. That would be the bare minimum of offense, is just saying, hey, these are enshrined in the Second Amendment, whether you like it or not. So Guns and Gadgets did a video about this earlier today. And I got to tell you, they did a really good job highlighting it. Way better than I can do. But I just think it's worth talking about. We need to keep it up in the air because, our votes are up for a right. Or our rights are up for a vote every day. Look at Ireland. 3 children stabbed. And the problem is people who are objecting to 3 kids being stabbed. Can't stand these breaking news channels? Well, I'm about 12 hours late for breaking news, but at least this is the kind of news that I feel is important, because even if you don't live in one of these states, I live in the state of Colorado, and Bennett, the giant D-bag of Colorado, is an initiating senator for this bill. Yeah. And they're going to jerk everybody's heartstrings. They're going to tell us how bad everything is because everything's in such dire states. But in a way, it kind of is. Look at Ireland. They're wanting to pass legislation because people on the internet were correct. It was a migrant that went around stabbing children. And now they want to curtail the ability of their peasantry. Let's be honest. Let's be honest about what it is. They feel their peasants shouldn't be allowed to talk about the facts of the case. Now they're investigating Conor McGregor. Why? Because he spoke out against the violence. They're not here to solve our problems. Government's not our saviors. Really? Ronald Reagan probably never could have been more correct when he said that the government is the problem. They are the problem. We don't have saviors. We're not voting for saviors. We're voting for somebody who may do less of a freaking horrific job than the guy before. Joe, I stand with Connor too, 100%. 100%. Not a shred goes to that illegitimate pile of shit government. But the government's not here for us. They're not making tens of millions of dollars a year insider trading for us. The government is not here for us. And the Supreme Court made it very clear when they said there is no responsibility of police officers and responders to save you. You are responsible for that. No one's gonna be on your side. They don't have to help. Let's just be honest about it. Okay? The first thing about solving the problem is you need to be honest with it. There's a big fucking problem. The government, they can't expand our rights. Their job is to protect our rights. And right now, they're trying to vote away our rights. And if we didn't have the court system that's marginal at best, our rights would be voted away. They'd be voted away tomorrow. I think we all know this. So I think it's important that we know that these giant D-bags and the eyes that are in the pockets of giant D-bags in Congress get put on blast for what they're talking about and what they're doing. Because what they're doing has been shot down by the highest court in the land, and they don't care. That's not someone looking out for you. When the high court puts its foot down, that should be the end of it. And it's not. They're not here for you. They're here to take for themselves. So, happy day on that one. What else is going on in the world, everybody? So I got my PSL back, and I am so happy about it. But there are some things that really just drive me mental about comm block weapons. So I had a trigger problem. The trigger was getting hung up on the bolt and making the cycling rather difficult. It was not wanting to cycle. It was really kind of a pain. And oh, dear Jesus, Joe, you've been on hold for over an hour. I'm here for you, brother. Tell you, no matter what, the live stream will be here for you, brother. So I've got multiple parts kits for PSLs. And one of them is a complete numbers matching kit that I built this rifle out of. The rest of them are kind of parts masters. We all know what that's like. And a Romanian trigger. And I used a factory Romanian receiver with a numbers matching complete parts kit. The trigger did not work with the action. And that is frustrating. It is completely frustrating. And I think I mean, if I were to go out on a limb and, get drunk and talk out of my ass, I wonder if this is one of those late, very, very late Cold War slapped together rifles that may or may not have even been tested, that was never issued, that was just thrown in a box and then chopped up and then sent out as a parts kit. I'm almost wondering if that may be it, because I poured through my parts and I found another trigger and it looks completely different. So I slapped that trigger in, and sure enough, it wants to cycle now. So yay, I'm happy about that. I've got a video coming out tomorrow. It was done a few days ago while we were still working out some of the problems, but I am working on a video today of the completion of the PSL and showing the heavy barrel versus the skinny pencil barrel that it came with. And I'm hoping you all enjoy that immensely. So with that, we're working on quite a few rifles. I've got 2 Mausers that I'm working on. I've got a Czech VZ24 that is a mismatched barreled action that I'm throwing into a stock and building for testing 8mm Mauser ammunition, which should be fantastic as always. 8mm Mauser is a great choice for anybody. And the other one, it's a Colombian Mauser chambered in 30-06. And I can't remember the proper designation. I believe it's like a Model 56 Mauser 30-06 from Colombia. And that one is also, I purchased it as a barreled action, and it didn't even actually have a bolt. It was just a barreled receiver. And that one is going to be built up into a nice target rifle as well, because why not? If you didn't see my post earlier yesterday, Milser prices are just stupid. Like, I don't know how on God's green earth these Milser prices are what they are. But don't cut up your Milsurp rifles. It's just not worth it. Milsurp rifles are going through the roof. It's probably one of the best returns on your dollar you could have ever imagined. I mean, okay, if a round receiver pre-war, it was 1938, Izhevsk 9130, they're asking $800. It's freaking crazy. I mean, that is better than just about any stock market returns you could ever imagine, when just 10 years ago they were $100. So I'll tell you, I pray that no one is actually paying that price. I'm not seeing a lot of them moving on the market for such prices. But when you see stuff like that, it's bonkers. And if you haven't seen it, go to my community tabs in YouTube and check out the picture. That is a local gun shop right here in the Denver metro area, which is freaking crazy. It's unbelievable what some of these people are asking. And to ask, right next to it is an 8mm Mauser. It's a Turkish 8mm Mauser, which Turks are fantastic. I'll take a Turk any day of the week. But a Turkish 8mm Mauser is $600, and a round receiver Mosin Nagant is $800. There is no justification for that. Like, a Mauser is, let's be honest, let's not fool ourselves. I love Mosin Nagants. I hate caveating that every time, but let's be honest. The Mauser is a far superior rifle. It just is. It's been ripped off by everybody for over 100 years. The Mauser is superior. Period. Mosin's a lot more fun. You'll never dig that out of my cold dead hands. The Mosin is a lot more fun to shoot. But an 8mm Mauser, cheaper than a Mosin. That's just crazy. That is absolutely crazy. So I've got some Mausers that I'm working on. And I just did some fiddling with my PSL. And as soon as the video's done, the barrel in white is going to get a fresh coating of Durablue, so it stays nice and beautiful. Because let's face it, when you get a comm block weapon, it's really hard to beat a PSL. PSLs are sexy. It is what it is. You know, there's no arguing that can be had on that. PSLs are absolutely great looking weapons, and hopefully we can make a great functioning weapon as well. So we've got our PSL going, and the gunsmith assures me that it cycles. So he's never lied to me before, and he knows it's going back to his workbench if he lied to me. He better not have lied to me. But it's all good. They're good guys down there. They do a great job, and they stand by their work 100%, even if he's sick of looking at it. So, yeah, this 6 month, oh God, no longer, about 11-month project is finally done. Finally done. Yeah. I tell you, if I didn't have a ridiculous day job and I had a lot more machine tools in my shop, I would be doing it myself. But that is better left to people who know what they're doing, you know. And they did a fantastic job. I love them. Anybody in the Denver metro area in need of gunsmithing, gunsmith at large down in South Littleton, right near C470. They're the best. The best on earth. Walked in there the other day, and there was a guy who had a barreled action for an Arasaka. And he wanted to do a scope on it, because much like me, I prefer a little bit of optics. It's a little better than iron sights for myself. And they were going through the different ways to attach a scope to an old Arasaka. And I showed him mine, because I've got an old Arasaka that I paid almost nothing for. And yep, it is what it is. Arasakas are going to be one of the good upcoming ones. Arasakas are still dirt cheap. And if you are into wanting to get into milsurps, Arasakas are a good way to go. Arasakas are good, and the Italian Carcanos are still really cheap. I would love to get myself an Italian Carcano, but I just haven't found one yet. If it's cheap enough, I don't mind places like Gunbroker, but I'd really like to get hands on it. Also, I'd love to see what the new PPU ammunition specs out at, if it's the correct Carcano bullet size. Because I know for American shooters, that's always been one of the big drawbacks of the Carcano, is we never had a bullet the correct size for the barrel. The 6.5 Carcano is not the same size as a 6.5 standard American 6.5 bullets. And I think that's how the Carcano got the terrible reputation that it has. That and probably being associated with the whole Kennedy bad afternoon kind of thing. I mean, if you're going to have a bad afternoon, a Carcano is probably not where you want to be. But it is what it is. It happens. An hour on the phone to get a defective phone replaced. Man, you got a bad afternoon, I'll tell you that. That does not sound like fun at all. But you know what is fun? Railing against terrible politicians. That is always one of the best uses of your time. So, we've got all kinds of love. I finished up a video that's scheduled to go live showing off my freshly refinished Firestar single stack pistol. And that is going to be fantastic as always. Everything is fantastic. You just got to have the right outlook on life. Everything's fantastic. What kind of fun. I got to tell you, it's going to be a fun winter. Oh, I hate dealing with title problems in cars. It's even worse when family gets involved. Not fun at all. I had to go down to the DMV today and re-register my pickup truck. It was off the road for a while, and let's face it, I didn't care. Registration was expired. It was expired by a lot. Colorado, you got to jump through freaking hoops to get your cars registered. But all went well, and I've got fresh stickers on my license plate that says I'm legal now. Jerks. Now I get to go for an alignment tomorrow because I had to replace part of the steering shaft a couple of days ago. Center link. And my steering's all wonky now. Always got to protect yourself from the foul. Yep. Some of the worst is family. I remember I was a little ass fucking kid when my grandmother died, and I remember the family just fighting tooth and nail over everything she had. It disgusted my dad so much he walked out, and that was, I think, the last time I was ever at my grandmother's house. Was when they were fighting over everything she had. It was terrible. Yes, but it isn't. It is not legal. Nor is it wise. But we've got all kinds of the goodness, though. I've learned to accept the fact that both sides of my family are terrible human beings. They're always been terrible human beings. They always were, always will be. I don't think I could tell you The last time I visited with any of my aunts and uncles, any of that, like they're all just some of the, like you could make a freaking blockbuster movie about how bad fucking our family is. But it's neither here nor there. Yep, the vultures come out. It's really one of the dumbest things to watch. It really is. Just yep. I've seen it. It's not pretty. It really isn't. But is there anything you can do about it? That's the bad thing. Like, as much as you want to fight and it's not worth it. I think my dad probably did it the best. Just turn around and walk away. Just ain't none of it's worth it. But it is what it is. Every now and then I get word that a family member's died, and it's like, bummer. Actually, probably the best part of our family is there's a whole mess of our family that we never met until very recently. My grandfather's brother, they had a big fight, never talked to each other again for the rest of their lives. And we actually somehow got in contact with them, and they're normal. Yep. That's what they do, man. That is what they do. They will bleed you dry. They're leeches. Terrible fucking leeches. But, like I said, there's nothing you can do except just cut it off. But hey, I'd still rather take terrible fucking family members over government. Terrible family members don't have power or power over you. That's right. Let's just all say, fuck you, government. Because that's how I feel a lot of the time. Really not one that sings the high praises of our government. I'm way more of the leave me alone kind of person. Don't need a babysitter. Don't need stupid laws. Don't need people trying to vote my rights away. Just leave me the F alone. Yeah. I don't even know how we got there. But we're there. Oh, terrible legislation. Gotta love it. I'm still wondering how Colorado just fell apart the way it did. How did a western state, mountains, plains, ranchers, farmers, how'd they wind up getting governed by just some of the dumbest tyrants? Yeah, it was not so long ago they were trying to pass uh, assault weapons ban here in Colorado, and it was just as stupid. Just as stupid. I don't know how. Would it make a difference if I did know how? Probably not. Stupid is stupid. Thankfully, for right now, we do have some wins in the courts. Don't hang your hat on it, though. The courts are just as malleable as everybody else. So, we've got lots of rifle fun, but it's getting cold here in Colorado. So, I don't know when I'm going to be able to go up to the shooting range for some fun. I hope we get to go real soon because somebody really needs some exercise, if you know what I mean. Boy, that bright metal is... I'm going to have to do something about that. What else do we have? Oh, I found another 1917, model 1917 30-06. That's pretty beautiful. I've done a lot of videos on the 1917. I don't know if I'm going to do a video on this one. I got a couple other good ideas. I love me some submachine guns. I love sub guns. Even the crummy semi-auto sub guns, because not all rights are the same. You know, feels like that Animal Farm. But I've got a giant hunk of aluminum here. And I'm thinking about doing something real bad. Thinking about maybe, would it be possible to make an abomination so terrible that the old redneck preppy would make fun of me in a video? So one of my favorite submachine guns is the PPSH 41. Love the Papashaws. The bullet hose. Well, I've got a full Polish parts kit for a Papashaw. And then I've got a bunch of spares, just a ton of spare parts. And while I would never sacrifice a good parts kit, because it's gorgeous. I mean, it is, the wood is untouched. The gun looks like it was never issued. It is so clean, so clean. But I posted a picture on the community, and it is a Vietnamese K50M. And if you don't know what a K50M is, during the Vietnamese War, the Russians provided a bunch of surplus PPSH 41s to the Vietnamese military. In doing so, the Vietnamese actually modified them extensively to make the rifle small enough to fit in the tunnel systems with ease. And they created what's called the K50M, and it's a very compact. It's got a little sliding wire stock, little tiny compact submachine gun. and they really kind of destroyed the aesthetics of the gun. But it really got me thinking, could you make a modern PPSH 41? Would it be an abomination? So I've got a giant chunk of aluminum to see if a modern PPSH would be an abomination of God. Would I get struck down by God himself? I don't know. But I think it would be fun. I think it'd be very fun to do. And let me tell you, I'm not chopping up a parts kit for it. I swear to God. These are all loose parts. They're all mismatched. That'd be fun, though, wouldn't it? Little PPSH. Probably a folding stock. Little side folder. Maybe chop the barrel back a little bit. Put a suppressor. My thought was maybe put a suppressor inside the really cool barrel shroud of the PPSH 41. And of course 9mm, because 25 Tokarev is getting very elusive. And let's face it, that's not coming back. No, not ruining a parts kit. Nope. Joe, not ruining a parts kit. I'm not throwing wood in the fireplace. In fact, I don't think any of the parts, all the parts were purchased singularly. None of them match. I think there's at least 2 different countries from the parts and everything. I've collected them one at a time. It's going to be a complete Frankengun. Complete Frankengun. But I wonder if I can pull off something pretty cool. Maybe. A little 9mm subgun. I was thinking I don't have any of the barrel shroud or receiver or anything like that. So I was thinking about doing a custom front barrel shroud out of aluminum instead of the stamped steel, but mimic the little cooling vents in it, so it kind of resembles the original, but instead of being steel, it'd be made out of aluminum. I don't know. Still in the thought process, still in the ideas phase. It's going to take a lot of machining. I mean, let's face it, it would be a lot of freaking mill work to my thought is, if you remember the PPSH, the wood comes all the way up the side of the receiver, and much like a regular rifle, the trigger guard and the lower portion of the receiver is actually the top cover, but the little lower part of the receiver and the trigger guard kind of sandwich into the wood. So what I'm thinking is take the aluminum and mimic the wood portion and come back for a mounting for like a side folder. Like, I really like the Zastava side folders. They're really good, little quick lock mechanisms, like the whole 9 yards about the little Zastava side folders. It's really well thought out. But that's my thoughts. That is my thoughts. So yeah, I'm always thinking about something wild and different, and I don't want to Maybe a little bit. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I mean, yeah. I'm gonna, make a bastardized American version of a bastardized Vietnamese version of a really cool Russian gun. Who wouldn't want that? I know what Redneck Preppy would say. He would call me all kinds of names in foreign languages, and I'll take that as high praise. But that's my idea. And I think while I'm working out that idea, I think one of the things I'm going to focus on this winter is my PPS 43 build, if you will. So I've got a PPS 43 Charlie from Radom. I believe it's Polish. And the locking pin fell apart. It was piss poorly put together in the first place. But it's been kind of a janky thing ever since. You actually have to zip tie the top and the bottom together because it doesn't lock together anymore. Janky. Freaking janky. But I have a complete parts kit for a PPS 4352, which is a wood stock version of the PPS 43, which similarly kind of mimics the PPS H41. And I think I would much rather have the woodstock version of the PPS 4352 rather than have a pistol version of the PPS 43 Charlie. So I am going to use all of the goodness and parts of the PPS 43 Charlie and make a semi-automatic converted PPS 4352 little submachine gun. And I think I'm going to do that over this winter because that has been on my to-do list for a very long time. And yeah, I think it'll be pretty easy. I mean, with all the correctish parts from the one gun to convert it to semi-automatic from an open bolt, use all that to make the 5052 work properly. That is such a mouthful. Jesus. So yeah, that is a thought of mine for this winter. And I think that'll be a really fun project. Like I said, it's been on my to-do list for way too long. And yep. Now my PSL's done and I love it. And I'm looking for, I need 2 more front trunnions for a PSL. The initial thought, I wanted to build my little flamethrower AK-54R first. And then we wound up just like slamming the brakes on that and building a heavy barrel PSL sniper type rifle. Wound up doing that first. So I've got 3 receivers, and what I want to do is I want to build just like a complete virgin style PSL with the wood. I've got a pretty much unused original PSL barrel and all the parts and everything. And I also want to build a 16-inch PSL. So hopefully I've got all the parts, except I need 2 more trunnions. And trunnions for these are elusive like you would not believe. They are just not easy to find. But I've got time. Like everything else in the world, I just have time. I've got time for everything. So, with all the time on my hands and all the good graces, I might actually get everything done. We will just have to see. So I got my other AR-10. That one, the little small parts kit that I bought to build the receiver wound up being an AR-15. So the cross pins are not long enough. That sucks. So I got to get some new pins for it, and then that pins and the buffer tube assembly, and then that one should be done. So I can't think of anything else. Updates, always updates. So I guess I'm going to just bounce off here. It's been kind of a quiet day. I thought I'd just jump on, and I wanted to go over that piece of legislation with you guys, because everybody needs to know that shit's happening. Tyrants are going to tyrant. We all know what that's about. Stay strong, my friends. Yes, I am going to form one SBR, the 4352. Yeah, and the 41. Both those will be Form 1. From what I understand, if you're not purchasing something off the shelf, if you file a Form 1 that you intend to build, it actually only takes like 30 or 60 days for that to come back. It's nowhere near as egregious as like trying to buy something off the shelf where they take like 6 or 8 months. Yeah. Oh no, the anteater look. No, I don't want none of that. Or a buddy of mine years ago, he had a 41 that they extended the barrel shroud with the barrel, and oh my god, it looks just horrific. Like it's an abomination. Like, no, it needs to be built the way it was. Like they should resemble what they were. Obviously we can't make it a bullet hose. That would be wrong. But no, they need to resemble what they actually were, because the character of it is what they were. They were short, compact, little mean sons of bitches. Yeah, it's how it should be. Let's face it. It should be a short barrel. So, yep. I don't know. I'm about all out of all ideas. I got a few things. Oh, my M76. That needs to go to the gunsmith to get the barrel pressed in. I do need that. And he's going to be real mad at me that I'm bringing him another AK that's going to be nothing but freaking problems. You're lucky the Zippo wasn't dried up. Yeah, it's one of those days. Oh, I have just been... I started out sanding and hand fitting this handguard on the PSL. Wait for the video. So it's one of the US plastic front, upper, and lower handguards. I've got an upper and lower that's got rail on it, and I quickly said that's janky. I don't like it. But the American reproduction plastic, actually, it's pretty nice. It's really slick, which I don't think I'm going to like that much. So I'm wondering if I know they do detail work at the gunsmith place. So I'm wondering if they can add some texture to it just to make it a little less slicky. But yeah, the rail system for it is seriously janky. I don't like it. But, well, thank God you got fluid for it. Thank God for small miracles. Oh, I got a call about my barrel tomorrow. Been playing phone tag with getting this whole wrong barrel installed situation rectified with the barrel maker. Not enjoying that one either. Yeah. That's for the poors, man. That's for the poors. Oh. Yeah, I ordered a barrel and sent the receiver in to get it rebarreled, and they put the wrong type of barrel on. Not happy. This is my not happy face. Really not happy. It was a very expensive purchase to get the wrong shit. And then for like 2 weeks, we've done nothing but play phone tag, which is equally as fucking frustrating. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I sent 3 receivers in, and they all had kind of unique instructions for each one, and yeah, they fucked one up. Kind of a stupid. But you know, can't come up roses every day. You know, I can tell you my local gunsmith, he doesn't do wrong work. And that is Gunsmith at Large in South Littleton. If anybody needs to have a gun worked on or anything custom work, they are fantastic. Gunsmith at Large. Not a paid sponsor. Take the small wins, brother. Take the small wins. Take the small wins and write off the big losses. Every day is a great day. As long as you tell yourself it is. All right. Well, I'm getting hungry and I'm going to bounce. So, kind of a quick impromptu live stream. I just wanted to read through that GOSAFE Act. Just so maybe if someone out there hasn't heard of this BS, I just wanted to get it as far and as wide as I could. Well, you got to believe the lie. Have a good one, brother. I'll catch you on another stream. Bye.